latest figures, April figures that were released, and they showed an interesting trend. They showed a trend back to a bit more normality, and that what I mean by that is that the sales in the 250 to 300 were significantly higher than the rest of the areas in there. Last month they took up, of the 114 total sales in the Tauranga area, they took up 26% of the sales. Why would that be? Coincidentally, I can only put it to that the banks are loosening up on the loan to value ratio, and so that perhaps that's a more indication of the first home owners and the investors are coming back into the market, and they rush back in after being out of the market for the best part of 6 months.
Numbers of sales, is that?
Yeah, the number of sales 114. That's sort of in the about average for what's been over the last year. Not high, not low. And again, looking at the graph, then it's more sales down in the 250 to 350 area, and then it tapers off through the higher areas. There was one interesting part in that sales, though, was in the 400 to 425, which had a very high spike in it, which was very interesting.
Yeah, any reason for that?
I can only put a point that some of the people that are selling down at the bottom end, they're tending to buy up, and there's product in that 4 to 425 range that's available, and then they're picking it up. The reason for the taper off down after the 425, I could see that could be due to a bit of lack of stock. We are still in that period of not having huge amount of stock on the market, and so therefore there's some of the stock that's on the market is selling, but there's just not the stock coming to the market. So again, squeaky wheel idea is that we're having low amounts of stock on the market, and that's hindering the amount of sales that we're having.
Yep. Where to from here, do you think, with the effects of the loan to value ratio?
I think that we'll get back to more of what we had prior to it, and it'll settle down into, again, the 250 to 300,000, 350 area will start to have higher sales again. That end will start to flow, and normally what happens is that when that end starts to flow, then the rest that flows through into the rest of the market also. So I would be picking that we probably may have more higher levels of sales because of that bottom end will now start moving, and that'll move the top end.
You touched on this a couple of months ago, but the media are saying house prices have risen again. What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's a tricky one, and I think that to answer that, where the media come from with that is that the Real Estate Institute put out their statistics, and they put out medians as their figures, and so they use that as their plane on whether prices are going up or not. Now, if you want to look at a median, all the median is telling us is what's the middle selling property. So if you have 10 properties, it's the middle one. Now, what's happened over the last 6 months is there's been a lot of higher priced properties selling. So that flows through as the middle property in that was higher than it was previously. So then what's happened is that the median has increased. That has no relation to the actual prices that each of those houses in that in the on the market that have sold has sold for. So the prices aren't necessarily going up, it's just the higher priced properties, there's been a lot more of those sell, and so then it's affected where the median sits. Yeah. The predictions for the next month or two is pretty well what we've been saying over the last couple of months. It's the stocks are low still. There's an opportunity that those people that want to sell, there's a definite opportunity for them to be getting the price that a solid price for the market that is market value. And that it shouldn't take too long if they're pricing it properly. So there's great opportunities for people that want to sell. For the buyers, again, that's just if you're looking to buy, then and you need to buy, then be sharp on what you need to be doing and what you want, so that you can get into the market and fulfil your needs.